From Kelsey, Andrew, I'm currently reading The Great Good Thing, and I've been very touched by your relationship with your wife throughout your entire life. My husband is struggling with depression, and it has put a great strain on our marriage in such a way that we have separated for the time being so that he can take time to work on himself and decide what he wants out of life, and if it includes our marriage. He's so stuck on how he felt about me in the past and wanting to get back to that, that I am afraid it clouds his future and how he can feel about me now as we work through this. How did your depression not affect your love for your wife during its darkest hours? I don't know how to get through this. First of all, you asked me to recall a period of my life that I hate thinking about, but I think about it. I talk about it, so I have to think about it. I did have dark times. A lot of my depression manifested itself in terms of rage. They say that rage and depression are actually two sides of the same coin. And frequently, of course, when you're angry at your wife. And I'm proud of the fact, I look back with pride on the fact that I never took it out on her. I knew it was me. I knew it was coming out of me. I knew it was emanating out of a sickness inside me. And even though I would sometimes in my mind be angry at her, I did not, I never unleashed on her. I didn't scream at her or anything like that. I'm sure I wasn't pleasant to live with, but still, I had a lot of discipline about it, and I'm proud of that. But still, it was a terrible thing. The thing about my love for my wife, though, it was so clear to me. A lot of times people write in and they say they've lost their faith in God, and I always say the same thing. Your faith in God is essentially a feeling. God's presence is a reality. God is really there. And sometimes you may feel that you've lost touch with him, but he hasn't lost touch with you. I mean, so that's the thing. So even at times when I was in a rage, I knew I loved my wife. I knew that love was there. I didn't have to feel it. It wasn't like little hearts were coming out of my head. I didn't feel, the same way I might have felt on a good day when I wasn't depressed, but I knew it was there. It's just the same way I know God is there, even if I have a day when I don't feel his presence. So it was a reality, the reality of my love. The thing that you mentioned about your husband looking back and saying, oh, we were once in love. And I have a real problem the way I hear people talking about this. Jeremy and Ben were talking about this on Backstage. And it's not that what they're saying is untrue. It's the way they say it that doesn't convey, I think, the full meaning. They're always saying things like, and people say this in general, oh, the original love fades and you're never going to feel that great feeling again. But that's not right. That's not the full story. What is happening is, of course, you're becoming more intimate with one another. And of course, you're becoming more comfortable with one another. And of course, that first rush of feeling you're leaving it behind, but you're leaving it behind to travel towards something deeper and richer, one hopes. And when that happens to people, a lot of people get frightened and they pull away. It's really common that they think that what is happening is they're missing what's behind them, that first romantic flush, but they're really afraid of what's in front of them, that deeper intimacy, that coming together almost as a single entity, as one flesh, as the Bible says. And so it's very possible that what he is doing is not trying to run back toward that first feeling, but he's trying to run away from the deeper feeling that is coming together. You have to take a long look at this. Obviously, you can't cure his depression, and it's possible. I don't know if you have kids. You don't mention whether you have kids, but that's an important consideration. If you do have kids, you should do everything you can to keep your marriage together. But if there comes a point where he can't be a husband to you, then you are going to have to move on in some way, depending on what your situation is with the kids. I hope he does. I hope that he gets treatment for it. I mean, there is treatment for depression. I personally am in favor of the talking cure. That's what cured me, and it cured me in such a dramatic fashion that I'm very much committed to it. I don't really like the new drugs. I think they teach people that they're just bags of chemicals that can be adjusted when really they usually have some problem, as I did in my past and the way I was raised, that was causing them to have that depression. I wish you luck. It's very, very painful, but remember that it's less likely that he's missing that first flush than he is running away from the new intimacy, the deeper intimacy that comes with marriage. The reason I say that I don't like the way when Ben and Jeremy talk about it, it sounds like they make marriage sound like a chore. I've never found that to be the case. I have always found it to be much more of an adventure.